Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Fred, and welcome to the short that I've created as a function of my earlier conversation this week with Sandra Cooze. I decided to title this short, "Do We Have to Experience What Our Clients Have Endured in Order to Be Effective?" During my conversation with Sandra, she suggested that it was really important to stay one step ahead of our clients when they've been traumatized. The idea was that we have to be able to empathize with where they are and where they're going, and also have to be able to pave the path for them by holding their hands and showing them the direction that they need to go. And what this suggests, of course, is that at some level, we have to have experienced at least an associated type of trauma, if not an exact type of trauma, in order to be able to help effectively. This is a rather controversial idea inside the world of mental health. The idea is even can a man who has never been sexually harassed help a woman who has been continually sexually harassed, even though he has not experienced that trauma? It is my contention that help can necessarily actually take place because it isn't the actual event itself that needs to be repeated. It's the experience of being traumatized one way or another. And although there are certainly different qualities of trauma, it is my contention that if we actually have been traumatized, for which each and every one of us have, and have been frozen to some form of fight, flight, or freeze as a response to the overwhelming trauma, then we have what it takes to actually empathize with our client. And it is in that empathy that allows us to guide these people through their acute trauma or through the trauma that they are still struggling with. So I can assume that really people can help people even when they haven't endured the same kind of crisis based trauma that they have. And can someone who has never been depressed help someone who's depressed? Certainly. The idea again is, but the idea again is that there is not very many people who have never been depressed. I don't think I have ever met anybody like that. Now, this whole notion of whether or not there is a deeper depression, a depression that supersedes the everyday depression or the depression that happens to all of us, a different level, a different stratosphere of depression. Can someone who has never had that experience actually help somebody who is in that experience? If it's unfamiliar altogether, I can see where, again, helping someone with something that you have zero familiarity with would be a tough sell, a tough mountain to climb. However, I am contending again that all of us have had overwhelming depression, at least to the point of feeling stuck or hopeless or helpless, or even unsure whether or not to go another step and wishing that we didn't have to. We have been sad at that level or depressed at that level at various points, and therefore can relate. And some of us have walked out of that earlier or with less need for help and less need for assistance and less need for guidance. But even in that case, we can share some of each other's humanity and offer a healing hand. All of these experiences of being human come with the whole potpourri, the whole smorgasbord of this humanity existence that we all share. So every piece of humanity, from the unspeakable, the traumatic, the heinous and barbaric, the unacceptable, all the way through the normal, if you will, the sort of everyday mundane type experiences, all the way to the beautiful and the ecstatic and the wonderful miraculous experiences on the high end, are experiences that each of us have had some version of it um, of having gone through in our life. And because of that, we get to resonate with each other at those levels. And since we get to resonate, and it is deepest um, deepest conjecture that it is in the human connection for which healing takes place. And human connection can happen when we actually are able to understand relate and resonate empathically along with our clients so that we get what they're saying. So, because each and every human wants nothing more than to be heard for who they are and be seen for who they are, and to be able to express themselves for who they are, such that that action can take place. Most of us are afraid to actually share with each other at that level of vulnerability and courage and bravery. What we saw in Sandra Cooze today is someone who does have that level of vulnerability, that level of, of courage and that level of bravery to share her true story with others and then speak to all the power of what's here in her TIR and in her book and multiple other ways that she has learned how to reduce the effects of trauma on our everyday life today. She is a really important healer in this world, someone who probably underestimates her effect that she's having with her clients. Another important feature of this is that she couples this notion of abandonment as being as very significant, if not the ultimate trauma. She reports that in her mid 20s, she went and got some help from a professional conventional psychologist, I believe, and that he told her that she was okay and that he had nothing he could do to help her. And that was her deepest trauma to date, even deeper than all the molestations or sexual assaults or even the rape that she had experienced, because this led her into a deep, dark hole, a place where she was at rock bottom. Now, she also speaks to the gift that rock bottom offered her, because there was no other direction to go but upward. And that's how she became the healer that she did. For many healers, there's an opportunity to really heal ourselves in the process of becoming and learning and training to be healers. I know that's been the case for me, where I've done a significant amount of healing since I entered the mental health field over 40 years ago. And I continue to heal with each and every client and each and every interview and each and every conversation and each and every interaction I have with another human. I feel like it is inside of that healing, inside of those interactions, inside of those connections, inside of those resonating experiences for which all healing takes place day after day, minute after minute in all of humanity. It is precisely when we can resonate with each other and connect with each other that that level of profound healing can take place. And I will stay on that and really say that that's the essence of all healing. To be connected to another person is what it takes to heal all conditions of all types, of all kinds, everywhere. Thank you very much for listening and being with me on this short. I really appreciate you. And again, if there's an opportunity for you to like or share this podcast, that could go a long ways. And if you want to couple this together with Sandra's interview and send it to a friend, that would be wonderful as well. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a listener of The Healthy Healer. And I will catch you on the flip side. Bye for now. It's Dr. Fred.